What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Lack Thereof podcast. It's DJDubC, it's Flemoxicillin, and we are back with a guest after a long time, an old colleague, friend, a great podcaster, Kyle McMahon. Kyle, how you been, man?
Hey, I'm doing good. Thank you guys for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. And Flam, of course, how you been?
I'm doing good. I'm glad that we're all wearing hats. This feels good. I was a little worried that one of us would be hatless, so it's kind of cool to see that we're all on the same page. But yeah, no, I'm good. I'm happy to meet you, Kyle. I've heard many big, great things, so it's awesome to have you here. Thanks for joining us today.
Of course. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, we've had it's been some time since we've had a guest.
Really
we've been doing, we're kind of celibate for a while on the guest thing. So we might be a little out of order. Our last guest has not talked to us ever since we talked to them. So but
So
we'll just see how this goes. Yeah, but it's fine. Ronnie, go ahead with your questions.
Yeah, man. So, well, first off, like I said, we're old colleagues, great friends, and just catching up with you. How you been? How's life been? How's the old iHeart crew?
Everything's going good. I broke my kneecap 6 months ago Saturday, which has kind of put a hamper on everything that I've been doing because, I wasn't able to travel. I mean, I couldn't even drive. So it was a little bit of a big difference in what I was doing and kind of put a slow to everything. But, otherwise I've been doing good. And I finally got off the crutches last month and they put me on a cane, which I'm now using not a lot. So, but overall, awesome. I love, everybody's great here. So things are here.
That's good to hear, man. I'm glad you're feeling better. I did want to ask you about that because I was worried about you, man. I wanted to check in on you and make sure everything was good. But
I just broke it. You fell down some stairs. That's usually what it does. It stairs.
I would love if that was the answer. I would also love to say I was protecting nuns from a bad guy, but I was trying at 5'7" to dunk a basketball on a 10-foot hoop and went right down on my in Crocs and went right down on my knee on the hardwood. So,
oh man, well you did it in
which
style.
Was cooler.
You did it in Crocs. Hey, yeah, that's style.
Another reason to not do sports. I'm telling you that is just not fun. That is dangerous. Oh.
Yes, it was all because my best friend Jason, who is 6'4", is a basketball player all of his life. His son, I had texted him and I was like, "Do you think I could dunk?" And he was like, "Absolutely not. What are you talking about? You've never dunked in your life. You're 5'7". Shut up." And then, it just so happened, a month later, his son, we had a 5th birthday party for him, and it was at a sports complex. So there was a indoor basketball court. So I was like, "Remember you said I couldn't dunk?" And he was like, "Yeah, I do." And I'm like,
Watch this.
Watch this.
Watch this.
Yeah. And he did. He watched me fall and break my knee. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a memory if you think about it. So.
Yeah.
I think the issue is probably the Crocs. Yeah, it's probably the Crocs. We'll blame the Crocs for. Yeah.
I mean, were they styled? Did you have the little pins that go in them, or
not in this
naked?
one? This one was just there was just the naked black, just
you raw dogged it. No charms.
You didn't have
exactly
mode on.
No, yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
It was just casual Croc with completely naked. So.
Wow!
Hey.
Oh man,
Right.
That's awesome.
Lucky guy, yo.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned what kind of birthday party this was, but
I meant Crocs.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Crocs were
I thought we were talking
naked.
Crocs. Everything Croc up was gone. That's what I was a little worried.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. Well, dude. So we brought you on because we just want you to share your origin story, man. We want everybody to know who you are, what you do, why you do it. So just can you start with your origin story and just let everybody know who you are?
Or do you want us to start for you? Because I want to know what Motown Weekly is.
Pop Culture Weekly.
No.
Wait, what?
No,
We're talking about my show, Pop Culture Weekly? Or?
No, I want to talk about Weekly Soul and Motown Radio Show. From your middle school days.
Oh my
Apparently-
God.
I told you he's
I
hardwired,
forgot
man.
about that. Oh my God.
I want to know, and I also, and I need you to piggyback. I want to go back as far as you can go, because I've watched your career over the last week, just looking around at all these things you've done, and you've done so many things, and it is humbling from this side of the wall, like knowing someone that's out there pursuing their dreams. Seemingly, from my perspective, you probably achieved a big chunk of that. But from what I've been reading, it may have started back in your younger days. I mean, I'm talking as a child.
Yeah, I mean, I have always been interested in, media and movies and music and TV and, the arts kind of thing. And my mom and dad have always been, were always extremely supportive of that. My mom would I was signed up for sports and stuff, but I was also signed up for guitar and, all the things. And I used to record my own radio show, like in my bedroom at like really young. And then my mom's friend was a DJ for a long time on a station called, I think, WAMS. And he did like soul, Motown, oldies, like that kind of thing. And then he would bring me on as a kid, which was cool. I had completely forgotten about that until you said that. That's why I'm like, what are you talking about? A weekly? But yeah, and that was awesome. I remember being so nervous as a little kid every time. And yeah, so that, that really was like part of a bug that that just continued for me to pursue what I wanted to do. And then I was, for the newspaper here, I was the kid critic, where I would like interview or watch movies and then review them. I called the News Journal up one day and was like, I want to review movies for you. And they're like, what? Like, you're a child. Why are you bothering us? So then it ended up being
the last thing we would want is for a child to call us and do this. Why are you calling us?
Exactly. So I ended up, they made me their kid critic, where I would like interview movies and stuff. And yeah, I've had a really, really weird life. I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, I've done all kinds of weird stuff. So, or maybe not weird, but like, I don't know. That's out of the ordinary.
I don't think it's weird. I think it's definitely cool, and it's definitely really interesting. I think what I really want to talk to you about is just because it's like I'm trying to fill in the gaps, because there is information that dates back that far from you, but there's no context. So it's just like they're like, yeah, he was part of Motown and Soul Radio, and he's also Delaware Teen Critic. But that's that's all. That's so you're filling in gaps for me. I'm just trying to solve a mystery.
Yeah. So, I mean, it really was, all throughout my life, I was involved in some way in some kind of media, and I would blog all the time, and social media obviously was big, like for those who remember, like MySpace and stuff.
Sure.
And yeah, so, I mean, I was just always interested in different types of media, and I loved how as somebody who was such a huge fan of movies and pop culture and stuff, and I would then get to be paid to review them. Like, that's so crazy, as a kid, even today.
They paid you for the teen critic things.
Yeah.
Oh, you were making fat stacks, or were they just tossing you like chocolate coins or something?
No, it'd be, a few $100, which for like a 8-year-old or whatever, however old I was when I started, was like crazy,
That's a dream.
Like, Mom, I got the rent this month. You just, like, I can't imagine that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Got to do the chores today.
Yeah. I don't need your, what's it called? The thing you get every week?
A stipend
from your parents. Allowance.
Yeah.
Stipend's like the grown-up way to say.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, I've always just kind of been involved in that throughout, in some fashion throughout my life, and it's been cool to, now I have a show that I'm interviewing people that I love, and I not just get paid to watch movies, but they'll set up a screening for me a month before a movie comes out so I can see it and then talk to the talent about it, and like, that's just a dream of mine as a little kid that it's pretty crazy that I'm doing now and getting paid for it, allegedly.
Allegedly, I'm not going to confirm nor deny.
I have to see my. I have to check my. My bank account.
They keep saying money's in there.
Exactly.
They will not give me the password. They keep telling me. That's great.
Oh man. Well, so I mean, you have a love for pop culture and everything. Like, what were some of your favorite movies, like, growing up and today, and just?
It's funny because there were it was such a variety of movies growing up, like classics like The Wizard of Oz, The Never-Ending Story, like a bunch of like 90s movies like Hocus Pocus and like, you know what I mean? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then, but I did watch, then I would watch like a drama that's like, why is this child interested in like this drama about,
got to see what happens in Mystic River. I got that.
Exactly. So it always was varied. I think movies for me have always been an escape. And so I loved going to the movies. I remember, my mom taking me to the movies in high school and college. And ever since, it was pretty much once a week, at least I'd be at the movies. And that was my 2 hours to like be away from the world. And I could be, on Jurassic Island, or I could be, in Interstellar or whatever it is. Like, it has been an escape for me. And I think that's why I've loved it so much. It's an awesome medium where you can be in a different world for
Absolutely.
2 hours or whatever.
For sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And by design too. Thank goodness for movies, right?
Yes.
They do a good job at that.
They really do.
Yeah. So you mentioned a little bit about blogging and stuff. I came across Kyle to you, I believe.
Yes.
Is that what we're talking about? So from my impression of this, and this is just, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, was this something that you kind of started on your own just into that first, right?
Yeah. So I had bought at some point KyleMcMahon.com. And
Which,
then
be careful, the domain is available. I almost bought it.
Is it?
One of them.
How much are they selling it for now?
I don't know. I clicked on one link and it was like, you want to buy the KyleMcMahon.com? I was like, yeah, I do.
He would too.
I was about to do it.
Yeah. So like in like high school or something, I bought it, some early time. And then, then they like want you to renew it like a year later. And I wasn't making the money or whatever. And so I'm like, oh, $80 or whatever. Like, how am I going? So it like lapsed. And then when I went back to needing a website, somebody had taken it, and then I'm like, who would even want that? Because I'm obviously the only Kyle McMahon in the world. And so so then I did Kyle to You, which was also easier, I think, to spell, except then I weirdly did Kyle the number 2 and then the letter U, which not probably weirdly just complicates it.
Yeah, it's cool.
But I did a bunch of Oprah's Life Class shows that she had on her network OWN, and then from there I've always been into personal development books and videos and all that kind of stuff, and clearly I haven't taken a lot of the advice from it, but I have always been interested in it, and so when I was doing all that, I'm like, oh God, like I really need a website. So I bought Kyle to You, and that became kind of like my homepage. And then KyleMcMahon.com came up, and I bought it and just redirected it. But then I literally forgot about it because now I have websites on like this, with this company, and then with that company and that company. And I was trying to slowly get them all over to one, so I just have all the domains I own under one,
right?
And somehow I lapsed the Kyle McMahon one again, and then when I was going to it and it was like redirecting, or wasn't redirecting. I like went back through my old emails that I had on Unroll Me, which is like this awesome thing which everybody should use, where it takes all your like spam emails and sends it in one email a day. Anyway, so I went back and found it, and I'm like, oh God, they like warned me 3 months ago I needed to update my credit card, and I never did. And so then somebody else bought it and then was trying to sell it to me for thousands of dollars. Wait, and I'm like, how is that like? That's my name.
They have like potential in that name. I think that name's someone's gonna want this.
Well, it's messed up that he contacted me and was like, are you interested in KyleMcMahon.com for whatever, $7,000? I'm like, asshole. That's like, I'm just gonna right there. It should be a good side hustle for somebody if they want to go and buy a bunch of domain names and then go hit the people up and be like, hey, I got your name.com for $5,000.
That's insane.
That's actually really interesting. Potential business opportunities is all I can see.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of smart. Yeah.
If it's up again now, I might go see, but
to be fair, that was just one link. You had several other websites that were completely affiliated and up and running. So
yes. And KyleMcMahon.com was a redirect to Kyle to you. Because everything was already on Kyle to you. So it didn't break anything, luckily, but it was just annoying because like you stole I guess he didn't. He like bought it fair and square. But like now you're trying to upsell it to me. I bought it for whatever, $80 a year or something, and I just forgot to update my credit card, you idiot. But anyway,
he's heartless. I don't like him.
Oh wow, yes. Screw that guy. Yeah. Well, dude. So I mean, you did mention Oprah. I know you're friends with her. Like, what's she like? What's your relationship with her? Tell us about Oprah.
So she is amazing. I mean, she completely changed my life. I went on to talk about fatherlessness. My biological father had, left my mom. They were engaged and he left before I was born. Once she found out she was pregnant, he was like, well, that's not mine. And my mom was like, it's kind of impossible that it's not. And anyway,
it's yours. Under pretty good authority, this might be your child.
And he still, even after the court made him do a paternity test, he still denied it was his. And it's like, that it's not how paternity tests work, but okay. But anyway, so I had a lot of issues, with that. That causes a lot of issues in people's lives when there's a parent who chooses not to be there. And I had basically zero contact. I ran into him once and he wanted nothing to do with me. But basically my entire life I never had communication with him. And then so I went on this show, this Oprah's Life class, and it completely changed my life. And then they kept having me back, which I still have not determined if I was just that messed up that they wanted me to keep coming back or what.
You are a cash cow, buddy. That's what it is.
Trauma dump. Yeah. So
Oprah said, I know how we can use them.
Yeah. But she was amazing. Her and Iyanla Van Zant, which was my life coach on the show, essentially, they really, really were amazing. And Oprah changed my life. From there, she being on Oprah alone just opens so many doors, which is crazy. And I ended up doing getting a gig with like Huffington Post, doing self-improvement stuff for millennials, and ended up being on My Brother's Keeper with the Obama administration, which is like a thing for fatherless sons, to kind of encourage them to either get into sports or arts or whatever, rather than, it's like an earlier intervention before problems typically arise, because statistically, a fatherless son has a much, much higher chance of ending up in jail or dead. So, getting them involved earlier in sports or gaming or, something social and positive and not drugs or gangbangers or trouble is. So anyway, so I did that. I mean, it just opened so many doors for me and completely changed my life. And then that
for sure.
That led me to, with Huffington Post, I was doing interviews with celebrities and as part of my self-improvement, but I was talking to celebrities about self-improvement. So it wasn't like, hey, tell me about your new movie. It was more like, hey, how did you get through XYZ or whatever? Yeah. And then turn that into a podcast, and both of those things did really well. I don't think either of them are online anymore. I don't know. I should probably check that. But in any event, those did really well, which led me to essentially, at some point, iHeart, which then I started this show, and I've been here ever since. This show has really exploded as well.
It's so awesome, man.
Yeah. So I was reading. I was going to ask you a little bit about like the fatherless era, I guess we could say. It might not sound insensitive, not trying to make it sound that way.
It's like a Taylor Swift section of her show.
Yeah.
The fatherless era.
Yeah, we're in the fatherless era. So yeah, I was reading, it seemed like you were on this trajectory. You had like all this, this fatherless, this outreach and all this. At some point in your career, were you thinking that your path was going to be, okay, I'm an advocate for this? And because I did see that you were like in the process of maybe writing a book, Man Up, a tale, a way for parents to take action, or parents, and it felt like I saw like there's a trajectory here, but then you're also going this other path. Did you ever feel conflicted between the two?
I didn't. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's the gist.
I didn't until my mom got diagnosed with cancer. I was writing a book called Man Up, or Stand Up, Man Up, or something. And I was advocating for fatherlessness. I was doing speeches and stuff like that. Not advocating for fatherlessness.
Y'all should get rid of the kids.
Oh my God.
You do not want to be a father.
I was advocating for the fatherless. And then my mom got diagnosed with cancer, which that just became my focus. So, of course. So I did, my mom passed, and then I did end up starting a 501c3 in her memory, which is where my, kind of charitable efforts go now. So we raise money every year, and then we give 100% of that to a nonprofit called PanCan, which is the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network, which is the place, the nonprofit that helped me, my family, and most importantly, my mom through her entire journey from the day she got diagnosed when I called them until after she passed. So I raise money, through the A. Joanne McMahon Foundation, and then we give every dime to PanCan in her name. It was just a way for, I wanted these donations to be in her name. So
memorial for sure.
Yeah,
exactly.
And I'm so sorry for your loss. I did stumble upon the page for the foundation. I did see that. So can't imagine what that's like going through that. And that's pancreatic. Is that what that is? PanCan?
Yes. Pancreatic cancer. Yep. PanCan is Pancreatic Cancer Action Network. Pancreatic cancer is, the deadliest cancer that when my mom was diagnosed, was 9% survival rate. Today it is 13% survival rate, which is a lot better than it was a few years ago, but it's still a horrible number. So,
right.
So we're making strides, but it is a slow, process, unfortunately.
Understood. Well, no real way to go on to any other subject.
No good transition for that. So what's your dog?
Yeah, tell me about. Do you still go under K.Mac ever? Is that ever a thing? Is that
K.Mac?
Definitely curious about these. And I wanted to say before we even get started, I didn't see you compared in this way, but your beautiful voice, by the way,
thank you very much.
Reminds me a lot of at least one song in particular, the Bare Naked Ladies. Is that a compliment, or are you disgusted by that?
Good question.
They're the ones that are like,
if they had $1 million,
rock star.
No, that's Smash Mouth.
Smash Mouth. Bare Naked. I know them.
If you don't, uncannily, I'm not even joking. The song you have, I have it pulled up right here. It's a good song. I really liked it. It was Gone. I think it's one of your. It's old. It's a deep.
Oh gosh.
Or Independence Day.
Oh geez.
Yeah, these are some old songs. I actually don't even have years on these. I'm guessing 2006 or 7.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, well,
That's crazy.
You should probably play something, Ronnie, for the people in the post.
Okay,
But
for sure.
Beautiful voice. You really remind me of a young lead singer of I don't know his name, the Bare Naked Ladies. Yeah, it
well,
sits
thank
very
you.
well. It's great.
So that's another aspect of my life. I had signed what's called a development deal in high school with a major label for music, and that it was amazing. Or I guess it was right when I got out of high school. It was amazing because I was able to go to all these places and work with all these amazing producers who their music I loved, and were producing artists that I love and stuff. And, so I was in college and would go, I would have like 2 weeks off from college that I had to work out with the university I was at. And I would go to Atlanta to record for 2 weeks, and they would give me all of like my homework before I left or whatever. And so I still had to do stuff every day and send it over and all that. But I was, so, we worked it out where I was able to record while, still being in school. And then that went on for a few years. And then one of the guys that I interviewed back then, so I was doing interviews back then, celebrity interviews with musicians through Warner. And one of the bands that I had, one of the people that I had interviewed was Brad Fischetti, who was in a group called LFO, which was like a pop boy band in like the 2000s, early
Summer
2000s.
Girls. Summer Girls. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Abercrombie and Fitch. Yep.
Exactly. And that he had started his own label. And so eventually he didn't even, we hadn't met for my music, we had met for what he was doing because he came from this boy band. And then, one of the members had died of cancer young. He was like 42 or something. And so their whole world kind of had to stop. And then he ended up deciding, I like the business side. I'm going to open up this label and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, long story short, he ended up getting my contract. I ended up going with his label. I guess he bought it out or whatever, as an album deal. So then I was recording this album. And then his label got bought out by the label that I was originally with. So it was like this big, weird full circle thing.
Right.
In the meantime, my dad had gotten deployed. My mom got diagnosed with cancer. My dad had gotten deployed overseas, and I kind of felt bad traveling so much. Now my mom was basically home alone with my mom while her husband is, at war or what? Not war, but
whatever he's
doing military stuff.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And
saving the country.
Exactly. So I came home and, kind of stopped traveling and all that kind of stuff. And then, I was still involved in music for a long time. But it also became less of a priority to me. I didn't like, and this had nothing to do with Brad. Brad was amazing, but in the industry, there's a, especially at that time, there's a it wasn't normal to like, so I would do like this pop rock song that I wrote on my guitar, and then I would work with this big like dance producer and do like a dancey song. And they were like, what are you? Like, what is any of, like, how do you, like, can't you just like do one genre,
Wow.
And so now it's a little bit more common, and so where you can kind of like dabble in different genres a little, but especially then, like that was not something that like you could do, especially on the same album. So sure. I think I didn't like a lot of that. There was a lot that I didn't like about the music industry in that regard. I felt extreme pressure for looks and all that stuff. I mean, you know, I'm pretty sure it gave me like some kind of what's it called? What's the word? Like disorder or something.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Answer.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think said the wrong thing.
They're like, you tell us. But I'm sure it gave me some kind of disorder, I swear to God, because there's just a lot of pressure on, you know, and they create these fake stories. Like it's all, which is partly cool, but it's also all just very weird. And I was very uncomfortable with that kind of fame. Not that I was famous or anything, but I was seeing other people with that kind of fame, and it was kind of scary. Even me, you know, I had somebody that sent me, I don't know how they got my parents' address, which is where I was living at the time, but they sent me a picture of me that they had like printed offline or something, and then they put it in a snow globe and then sent it to my parents' house addressed to me, which was like really really weird. Wait, you said sweet?
Oh, okay. Sorry, wrong way. Going the wrong way. Wrong direction.
You guys don't want to finish my sentences. I get it now. But no, I thought it was freaking creepy because it's like, where did this person get my parents' address? And then you're sending me a picture of me in a snow globe. Like, I don't know, it felt serial killerish to me. And that really kind of freaked me out. And then I was like, ew, you know, and then you would go places and people, you know, I remember being on this one tour and I had asked the bartender for something and they were like, oh, we don't have that, but hold on. And they sent somebody across the street to get it and then brought it back just because of who I was with. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, this is not real life. You know what I mean? Like this, if I wasn't with these people and I asked that, you'd be like, fuck you. You know what I mean? Like go across the street. It's all just very strange, which I think is interesting because I've always been such a big fan of pop culture, and that comes along with it. You know, I mean, most of these people are in that world. So like, it's an interesting thing, I think, for me to like kind of be fascinated, but weirded out by certain levels of fame, but then also everything I do revolves around fame, you know, other people's fame, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't know. It's just weird.
It sounds weird. I would have a hard time, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The association's enough. Like you just said, the perspective of like, while you don't view yourself as like some famous person, but next to you're next to what Madonna or whoever you're with, you know,
right?
It's like,
right.
You might be in a picture somewhere. You might someone.
Yeah. It was just bizarre. And, you know, and I saw, you know, just some of the things that you see where like people follow you. And like I said, I'm not talking about me, but some of the people that I was with that like, they'll follow you. There's just this weird, and I'm sure there's, you know, obviously there's always been stalkers and that sort of thing, but I think especially with the internet, it's easier to be like, oh, I just tweeted a picture of so-and-so, the celebrity at this restaurant. Now 50 people can run over there, you know, it just is strange to me and kind of scary. So
definitely.
Yeah. So it's a weird thing, but on the other hand, I'm like everything I do, you know, I'm on camera all the time doing stuff like this, doing my show. Like, it's kind of a weird thing. I don't know. I'm sure a therapist could figure it out.
Did you think you'd end up like in this shoes? I mean, like for me, you know, I used to lie awake, you know, even last couple of years, you know, what am I going to be when I grow up? You know, you never feel like you're there. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like you're there? Do you feel like you've achieved where you want to be? Or are we climbing higher? Is someone going to be snapping a photo of you at a restaurant and I'm going to be racing over there to get you to sign my forehead? Is that on my...
Flem, you can come to dinner with me. Exactly.
oh, yeah. Wow, I've never gotten an invite. That's great.
You know, it's interesting that you say that because I always struggle, you know, in many ways I'm a perfectionist, and I think Ronnie could probably tell you I will, you know, work on something for hours and hours and hours, probably way more than I should. I have this I guess I can say it. I have this book that's coming out September 1st called 31 Days of Horror, Pop Culture Weekly's Killer Guide to the October Horror Movie Challenge.
Awesome.
And and it's through I did it myself. It's like self-published or whatever.
Yeah.
Or through like Kindle, whatever, through Amazon. And they give you a deadline, like, because they need a certain amount of days before it goes out, like that. They need the final manuscript, and then they have to make sure you're not being like a horrible racist and stuff like that. And so I had submitted it like weeks ago, and then it was bothering me about this one word, and it was like a completely inconsequential word. It was just like the phrasing of something I said. And then I'm like, you know what? It would be better if I like said this. So I had to do it all over. Not the whole thing, but I had to change it and then export that for the paperback, for the Kindle, for the hardcover. And then like a couple of days later, I'm like, shoot, I should probably thank this person if I thank that person. So then I went back, and so I've like,
that'd be insane.
Yeah. So today was the cutoff or Monday. Whenever Monday was, I don't know what today is. Yesterday was the cutoff because they needed 7 days. And I literally Sunday night at like 11:50, I was uploading yet another final manuscript for them because I'm a perfectionist. So all that to say, I don't feel like I'm ever finished. I mean, there's so much that I want to do. I feel like I'm constantly building it and never there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do completely.
In some aspects, like, yes, this is exactly what I dreamed of as a little kid, to be able to get paid to talk about and watch and talk with the people that make movies and TV shows and music that I love. So in that respect, bucket list checked off for that. Did multiple tours for music, bucket list checked off for that. I always wanted to meet Oprah. That was like a bucket list thing. Did the show multiple times, like, but the bucket list just adds more or whatever,
It's like deeper than you thought. Yeah, there's like so much more in there.
Yeah.
So it's like now I have this show and it's it's doing really well, and I'm getting these incredible guests. And but now I'm like, okay, well, how do we make this bigger? Or how do we do another platform for this or whatever? And so it's like, no, to answer your question, like, no, I'm not satisfied, if that makes sense.
I can sense that. I mean, you got your hands in a lot of things and you're very talented.
Absolutely.
You can see it. And Ronnie has told me a lot about you guys. And I never really got that full story either. I'm curious. I'm going to get into listening about what you're currently doing. We haven't really even talked about Pop Culture Weekly that much. I'm very curious about that.
Tell us about your show, man.
But how did you two meet? I don't even know that real quick.
Go ahead, Kyle.
Do you want to go?
Want me to go? Well,
this sounds like is it a bad story?
No,
your delivery driver.
I mean, I guess.
So we were in the men's room.
Yeah. No, I guess. Long story short, I mean, we were old colleagues. iHeart. Back when I was there, we met through there and just became great friends. Just got to know each other, and I mean. What about you, Kyle? Like, what do you think?
It was way wilder than I thought it was going to be. It was really wild, Roddy. You hit him with your car or something.
Yeah. So remember that story you said about the basketball? It was completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was just like, normal. I would go to Ronnie. So it's weird because coming to iHeart, a lot of people have they went to broadcasting school or whatever. I did podcasting and YouTube, that's and wrote blogs and stuff.
Yeah.
So for me coming here, I had no idea about this real world of radio and all that. Where Ronnie is the super like genius. So this board, I literally had to take a photo of, and if anybody were ever to like come in here to do something or whatever, I would have to look at my picture to get it back because I don't know how any of it works. I've tried to learn. I just don't know.
Yeah.
And so Ronnie was like the genius with that stuff. So Ronnie, I'd be like, Ronnie, blah, blah, blah. And he'd be like, oh, you blah, 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 blah. And, it was fixed. And so, so Ronnie was like, what were you technically, like the production guy?
Production board operator. I was in charge of just making sure everything was on the air, right? Making sure everybody sounded good, made sure the ads played and everything. And I'm looking at that board, and I picture everything perfectly. Like I could probably do everything right now. Like
Yeah. I mean, I still have my little notes that are like, this goes up, this goes down because sometimes like we have cleaning people, sometimes they'll come in and like wipe stuff, and I'm like, I don't know what they did. I don't know how to fix it.
What did they base back
up? But were you, Ronnie? Were you here when they had asked me to help out with one of the sports games?
Yeah,
and I took the whole station off the air.
Did you take the whole station off the air?
I did. Yes.
I was in there with you for one game. I remember.
Oh, you might have been teaching me, right?
I was teaching, yeah.
So they had asked me to help out because they needed, people for all these games that they were doing like live, and so I think Ronnie was teaching me, blah blah blah, and then the next time, so I told him, I feel comfortable, I'll help out when you need. So they asked me soon after that, and I took the whole freaking station offline, and I had no idea like how to get it back. I think Benny ended up calling me, and so suffice to say, they never asked me again, which was nice. But but it also mortified me because I was like, I don't ever want to do that again. And Ronnie, I have a potty mouth. And so I also like can't be live. And they had me the day that I took the station off the air. That was when they also, what do you call it when you're like
halftime reports?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think it was like women's basketball or something. And I'm like, the blue team like did this, and then I'm like, I don't have enough to talk about. So I started talking about like Bruno Mars or whoever was going to be at the Super Bowl or whatever. Like, because I'm like, I don't know, So anyway, so that's where we met, and it's I love what I do. I have this show, Pop Culture Weekly, that is the primary platform, I guess, the home platform, if you will, is the podcast, but it's multi-platform. So it's I have people that only read the blogs. I've had somebody recently that said to me, oh, I love your show. And I was like, oh, thank you so much. And they were like, yeah, I watch it, whenever you put something out. And I'm like, watch? And they were like, yeah, like on Facebook. And I'm like, it's a podcast, right? Like a show. Mm-hmm. And she was like, yeah, like I watch, like she had no idea that it's actually a podcast. And those are just like the interview. So anyway, my point is like, people watch it in the way, or people consume it in the way that they want, whether it's just through the videos or the blogs or the podcast itself, or we do a thing that's now syndicated across the country called Pop Culture Minute, which is a 1 minute story that Pop Culture Story airs 3 times a day on like a crap ton of stations, and Pop Culture Weekly is promoted across the country, like 800 something stations, and nice. So it's been awesome. I mean, I've been getting, like, in the last month, tomorrow an episode with Jude Law and Ron Howard comes out, which I don't know if you're like a movie person, but Jude Law is
Absolutely.
like Jude Law, and Ron Howard is like, he's one of those ones that I've loved since I was a kid, like Willow,
for sure,
Apollo 13, like just
have him narrate the whole pod. That'd be cool.
My entire life. So and then last week was Dave Franco and Allison Brie, and Kate Blanchett was on a few weeks ago, Kevin Bacon, and I mean,
Kevin
been
Bacon
getting like
That was
Yes,
one
I
of the
love
things I was
Kevin
going to tell
Bacon.
you is like, it'd be really good. You've heard of that game. We could use you officially as like a 7 degrees to Kevin Bacon.
And you would win at this
And
point.
we would win.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you know what? I know a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like all
Yep.
great routes. Yeah, we could find a way. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, actually, that's funny because now,
You're in the high game now, buddy. You're in
yeah,
the
and
big
somebody's
leagues.
like, "Oh, what's 7 degrees to Kevin Bacon?" I'll be like,
He was on the
interviewed him.
podcast.
1 degree.
Yeah, you do. Like you have like this because you have an IMDb page as well. So you're valid for those games. We could use you for Anthony Mackie. We have everybody.
Oh yeah, I had Anthony on a couple
We
weeks
could
ago,
do
which
it all.
I'm a huge Marvel Studios nerd. So 3 things I completely always nerd out on: Harry Potter, the Wizarding World, like the whole Wizarding World, Marvel Studios, and horror. Or like I'm a fan, you know, I watch all kinds of stuff, but those are like my 3, like, so I'm collecting Avenger interviews like Infinity Stones. So now I've had like Jeremy Renner and Anthony Mackie, like I'm slowly like, you know, going through it. And then these horror movies, like, you know, I'm a huge Conjuring fan. And so Warner Brothers, I guess like 3 weeks ago, set up a screening for me to watch the new Conjuring, which comes out September 5th.
Nice.
And that was that. Okay, so the first time that a studio ever sent up a private screening for me, I was like, oh shit. Like I actually took like a picture of me just for myself, like a selfie, because I'm like, it's me. And they bring a security guard. Like they hire a security guard, like a private security guard, so he's in like a suit, and he's there to make sure like nobody comes in and like tries to take a picture or a video or whatever, you know, all that stuff. And then there's a studio rep who actually brings the movie, essentially, and it's done digitally, but they're, you know, bringing it, if that makes sense.
They go through the motions.
Exactly. So it's me and this security guard who just stands like with his back against the wall looking at the door, and which is kind of unnerving. And then the studio rep who's like on her laptop, and I'm like, okay, this is fucking awesome. You know what I mean? Like this is fucking, and I'm getting paid right now. Like what?
Yeah, even better.
Awesome.
Even better.
Yeah. And I had to do that in this instance for Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson, who play Ed and Lorraine Warren in the Conjuring movies. But like the first time that a studio set that up, that was like a, you know, I started when I went to my car after that first one, I like started like tearing up because I'm like, wait, they just set this up for me? Like Kyle McMahon in Delaware, you know what I mean? Like that's wild.
That's so cool.
And yeah, so like, why am I bringing this up? I forget what the point was.
We just love hearing it, I think.
Kyle, we have to know. We have to know.
There was a reason. There was a point that I had to this, but I don't remember what it was. But anyway, horror.
Yeah, you're love
for horror,
horror
and
genre,
and Marvel and all that. You know, those are like my big 3 things. So anything like that, like I'm gonna, even if it's a bad horror movie, like I'm gonna watch it.
Oh yeah.
And you know, some bad horror is like even more fun than like serious horror in some instances. So like to be able to do that and then have these different platforms, you know, on the radio, on video, on podcast, on blog, on social media, like it's really multi-platform, you know, and so it gets a lot of reach, and I'm incredibly grateful for that. You know, I really am.
Yeah, man, I'm happy for you. That's so sick. Now,
Thank you.
Very, very sick indeed, actually.
So dude, can we like talk about your love for horror? Because I'm telling you right now, all three of us can just you know, we can book to stay at the Conjuring house, I believe. Yes. I'm so down.
Yes. I have different thoughts on this. So I'm big into like going to haunted places and that sort of thing. I think that I'm sensitive to that sort of stuff because I'll get like feelings and stuff.
Of course.
And I went to a place for the show that I did called Death, Grief, and Other Shit We Don't Discuss, which was a 12 episode or 13 episode. It's still coming out. Exclusive with iHeart Podcast Network that has kind of been in the aftermath of my mom's passing, where I went around the country and interviewed all these experts on death and grief and faith and all of these things. And so one of the places that I went to was called Lilydale, New York, or is called Lilydale, New York, which is a town like almost near the, kind of near the border of Canada. And the entire town is made up of mediums. And so everybody in the town is a licensed medium, and they have to, they're tested before they're accepted and all this stuff. And so I went up there, it's a really cool place, by the way, and they are amazing people, but they're spiritualists. So we were talking about the history of spiritualism and, and I got some readings and stuff like that. And they did not, none of the people knew who I was or why I was coming. They knew like I was with iHeart, but they didn't know what the project was because we didn't want them to like look up my mom or anything like that. So we wanted it to be as fair as possible. And so anyway, they were amazing. And I started getting like different feelings because they were taking me around the town and stuff. And like this one man who was amazing was like, are you all right? And I'm like, I don't know. There's like this sounds weird, but like I'm just getting like this weird feeling right here. And so then anyway, he told me that something had happened there. And then we started talking and he was like, we were talking earlier, him and another woman, and he was like, we were actually thinking you were sensitive. And I was like, what does that mean? And so then we talked about that. And yeah, I know. Like, I mean, I do wear my heart on my sleeve, but
hold on, buddy, easy.
But anyway, so they were kind of explaining that because then I started talking about sometimes like when I go to every time I go to Gettysburg, I get these feelings in certain places. So I was explaining that and they were telling me. Anyway, I digress. So like, for instance, when I've gone to Gettysburg, I'll get this like very weird feeling and then, we'll research it and there was something weird that happened there or whatever. All this to say, I go back and forth on which ones to go to because like, if I go to the Conjuring house, like, do I want to have a panic attack? Like, if that's going to happen, or do I want something to come with me? On the other hand, as a fucking horror lover and as somebody that's interested in that stuff, fuck yeah, I want to fucking go. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I would absolutely go, but like, I'd be doing a lot of like, I'd probably have like every religion's like necklace on me and like bathe in holy water mixed with Axe, of course. And, just like do the whole thing. So nothing comes back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I'm just here to chill out. We're not doing anything past this. I'm not going to exercise you. We're just
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. And I do tell them, which sounds insane now that I'm saying this out loud, but I do tell any potential spirits. You don't? Wait. I do tell them like, hey, we're not here, or at least I'm not here, for any harm, blah, blah, blah. I'm extremely respectful the whole time I'm there. I'm not one of those who goes and like, I've seen people go and like tag places with like spray paint, like, fuck you. You know what I mean? Like this is somebody or something happened here or somebody passed here or whatever. Like you're not doing that shit with me.
It's still their belongings.
Exactly. So I'm very respectful. I tell them that, and say, if you want to let us know you're here, if you want to make contact, like I'm here. If you don't, totally fine. If you don't want me here, like just, let me know in some safe way and I'll respectfully go and thank you for your time and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that I have to clarify in some safe way.
Yeah.
If you're not here, let me know and your finger snaps. That would suck.
That would suck. I was going to say finger up the butt, but
Well, no, that would have been welcome. That would have been fine. That's just another day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be like, Father John, is that you? Oh no, it's the ghost. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's cool. So have you been to a lot of? I've only been to like one I guess notably high haunted place, which was like the Waverly Hills Sanatorium. Have you ever heard of that?
West Virginia.
Somewhere, I think maybe.
Or is it Kentucky?
Kentucky. I think it's Kentucky.
Yeah.
Yes. I've been to that one, and we went like in the middle of the day. Like, I feel like I couldn't. I'm not very spiritual until like I'm alone, and then, so it was like a group tour thing. And we had Golden Corral right before, so it all didn't really feel like it didn't feel like a real like, oh, we're here to see the ghosts type thing.
I love Golden Corral, by the way. And their banana pudding is like crack. Not that I've ever done crack, but I imagine that's what crack is like.
Clarified now, because like I said, researching it, they give you little information. They'll just be like, yeah, he mentioned he did crack. And then you never know. The next interview,
pudding and crack.
Sorry.
But I was going to say, because Ronnie had mentioned this before, and I hope I'm not spoiling some of his things, but Delaware has some haunted scenes. I know there's like the Delaware State Penitentiary, whatever it is. But then I'm just helping Ronnie with a something to do with Fright Fest. I don't know. What is it?
Oh, Frightland.
Frightland. Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
Did you want to ask Ronnie, or was that the transition?
Oh no,
that's my transition. I just know it's all in the same. It's all in the same field. So.
Yeah.
So we were talking beforehand just about you and your like love for horror, and I mentioned that you had involvement with Frightland and stuff. So we were both interested in that, and we just want to hear about it.
Yeah.
Like,
okay. Well, I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, I'm just saying, what's your involvement?
So I've been with them, basically my entire adult life now. And it started out. So one of the things that I did while, I was recording and stuff was I started my own business, because that was the best way to make money when I wasn't recording and take a smaller advance, because, you have to pay the advance back to your record label through record sales. So I had lived at home, tried to take a smaller advance, so then I had less to pay back. So anyway, and I also worked. So I did started a business doing social media marketing, which is what I was going to school for, and photography and videography and all that. And my first big client was Frightland, which is this big haunt in Delaware. It's kind of nationally known. Mm-hmm. And I have been involved with them now forever. And, I took over and managing the entire place 5 years ago. It's actually in my contract with iHeart that from mid-September to mid-November, I'm, a lot less available. And believe me, when I signed with iHeart, they were like, what? Like, what are you? You're saying like
you want to be the manager of Frightland?
Yeah, they're like for a haunted house, and I'm like, you don't get it. One,
Tom
it's like
Hanks is outside. You really want to? You really want to bring up Frightland?
But it means that much to me, and it's been such a big part of my life. And it's the owners and so many people there are like family to me. And so if I have been able to do it, why wouldn't I? So, what I end up doing is bulk recording some stuff, and working it out that way. So it frees me up on show nights and all that stuff. And I will do that hopefully until, the day I die. I just love it. It's very much a live show every night. A horror live show every night. So it's combines so many of my loves into one thing. Yeah. And it's right down the street from me. It's a half hour away, but like, I don't have to go to New York for 3 months to do some, play or something like it's, I can go right down there, and they have let me, they're so great about ideas that I have for scare, like anything, soundtracks, and I do all of that kind of stuff, and I love it, and so that's not something I'll ever give up. And awesome. I've been able to do it so far, I've been able so far to do it successfully along with this career, So I love it.
Well, September is right around the corner. I mean,
Yes.
so you're about to get right into that, huh?
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah. And I end up doing, between all the gigs in the fall, I do 90+ hour weeks every week. And I wouldn't change it for the world. I really wouldn't. I mean, that's part of the sacrifice I have to make in order to make this work, to be able to balance both. But it's well worth it for me to, when I'm sending my invoice over, I'm like, 94 hours last week. Like,
no, that's cool though. I mean, it's probably different when it's what you love, right? I mean,
exactly. It does not feel like working. It does not
Yeah.
feel like working.
Not at all.
So,
yeah, I it's been a while since I've been to Frightland, but it's a lot of fun. I remember, I do remember one story. I went to the haunted walkway.
Like Ravenwood Cemetery.
Yes, and I remember somebody said, "Hey, grab onto my hood." I didn't know this person. I was with my cousin, and he was behind me, and the person in front of me was like, "Hey, grab onto my hoodie," or something like that, just so I know somebody's behind me and it's not somebody trying to scare me. So I said, "Okay." We got out of there, and it was somebody completely different. I was like, "I don't know who you are, and I'm sorry I was holding on to you the whole time."
That's adorable.
It's funny because we have cameras everywhere, and so I get to see fun stuff like grown men that are there, whatever, a few buddies, couple buddies, whatever, are going there before they go out to the bar or whatever, or sometimes before they go to the bar, or I mean, sometimes after they go to the bar. But they're all tough, like in the line, and they're like macho, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then once they get into like the third room of one of the houses, they're like this on each other. And then the second they get out that door, the exit door, they're like, "Yeah, bro, blah blah blah." I'm like, we could see everything you just did, right? Like, or we'll see guys with like they're on a date, or maybe it's their girlfriend or whatever, or their wife or whatever. And I've seen so many guys push the girl they're with towards the ghoul that I'm like, wow, like it's
they're just like on the off chance this is real.
Exactly. I'm like, wow, that's like, I wonder if that's some kind of relationship test. You know what I mean? Like,
you need to go back and find all them and interview them. And
exactly. Yeah.
See if they're together anymore.
So it's interesting to me because I'm also a bitch when I love haunted houses, like fake. Well, oh yeah, I should have finished. No, I should have told this part first. But I love haunted houses, like theatrical haunted houses. But I'm the biggest bitch when it comes to that. It's the jump scares that get me.
Yeah.
So I am one of those people who, like, there was a girl I brought, I went through with to one last season, and she's like, "Hold my hand, blah blah blah," and I'm like, okay, like because I know how I am, And then the second that it starts getting scary, I'm like, bloop, like undo her, and I'm like this, like going through like with my hoodie because I'm like, she's like, "You're not holding my hand." I'm like, "Shut up, I can't." And she's like, "Yes, you can," and I'm like, "No," but then I'll be one of those guys that with one of my friends, we went as a group, and me and him ended up, he was like right behind me, and then there was like a group of like 6 of us or whatever. And I said to him, I was, I guess, second. I was like, "I'm sorry, bro, but like I'm gonna be," and I didn't even have to finish. He was like, "Nope, I got you." He was like, "Me too," and I'm like, "All right, cool." And because just the jump scares are what get me. Like once the ghoul is out, I'm fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's that anticipation.
Yeah.
That I'm like, I don't know where they are. And even think, I've grown up at haunted houses, essentially. You would think I would know, but great haunted houses misdirect you and stuff like that, So, and I find fear fascinating. Because this sounds like the origin story to like the Scarecrow or something in Batman, but but I find fear fascinating.
Terrorize a city after this,
in relation to haunts and horror. And I don't know if it's because it's a safe way for us to express fear, or what. I don't know. I just think it's super interesting that we voluntarily pay $70 or whatever to go to a haunted house and literally have people try to scare us as hard as they can. Like, that's just funny to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just love the whole industry. I love horror, I love all of it. And like I said, so this book that I had, you guys are the first ones that I've said anything to, like literally
honored.
I don't think I've told
can
anybody. Yeah.
Can I ask you, is this what that post I saw you post about? You posted something, you said you had an announcement or something like that?
Something's coming or something?
Yeah, you had something.
That's
very
exactly what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
I was like,
we'll blurb it
teasing it. Oh no, you're fine, because it'll be out next month. Well, it depends on when they're listening. It'll be out September 1st.
Okay.
So yeah, this 31 days of horror is like something that I would want to buy, So what it is every day there's a different movie that I've chosen, horror movie, and it gives like a little mini review, my little mini review, and then like the fear factor. So is this like a 5 out of 5, you're gonna piss yourself, or is it like, oh, like I like this movie, but it's not, like maybe Friday the 13th. Like I love Friday the 13th, but that's not, for me, it's not like a 5 out of 5 and the scare rating,
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like fun facts where you can stream it, and then what's the other thing, Kyle's commentary, where you get like my sarcastic dry humor whether you want to or not, and then there's like these spotlight essays. So every few days there's an essay that kind of dives deeper into a topic. So one of the days there's a Stephen King movie, and then one of the essays is why Stephen King has become like such a horror king. And so it's that kind of thing. And I think it would be cool. I think it would be fun for a horror fan to do it. And you don't have to do it in October, but and then, then there's so many other ideas that I have. I already started, with like 30 freaking sequels, and spin-offs where I'm like 31 days of slashers, 30, and then I'm like, Kyle, let's get this one out first, and see how it does. You might have 17 people that buy it, and then, but anyway, yeah. So I love that in this kind of thing, we can do all of these things. Anybody can go to Amazon, and write a book and sell it right there.
Yeah, that's cool.
I think it's an interesting time what a time to be alive.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, if I buy your book and it's like day 1, like Halloween, and it's like day 2, Halloween 2, day 3, Halloween 3, and then we get to it's like Nightmare on Elm Street 1 through 9. Like I'm gonna, if you cut corners, there's only like 3 movies this whole time.
I was very, very careful about balancing classics, and then not only balancing classics, but from different time frames. So from the 70s basically till today, and then different genres. So there's some, found footage, there's some slashers, there's some fantastical, there's some elevated horror. I was very, very careful, and I toiled a lot over the list alone of 31 movies. I must have gone through it 30 different versions of it, because I was like, no, that has too many slashers, and no, I want I want this movie on there or whatever. And so I hope that I did a good balance of all kinds of different genres. I'm hoping that there's something that the average horror fan hasn't seen everything of. Oh, I also give alternate titles with each movie, just in case maybe you've seen this movie last week and you're like, I just watched this last week, I don't want to watch it again. There's a couple of alternate titles that are kind of in that same vein, so
honorable mention type thing.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Like if you liked this, you'll like that or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about it. I'm excited to see how it does. I had a book deal with a publisher before, and it's crazy how little money I would have made, even if it's successful. This is a little better, but it's also a risk because you don't have a big publishing company behind you. So I'm curious to see how it does. I loved making it. And I had a lot of time for the last 6 months, more so than I normally have. So I got so much done, with my knee, because I was basically in bed for 2.5 months, couldn't drive at all. I got a lot of things done that I had been kind of like on my list that I hadn't had time to do. And I got like 3 of them done. So in that regards, the knee break was good,
opportunistic for the next.
Exactly.
That's perfect.
Exactly. So I'm excited about that because I've never released a book. I mean, I did half of one and then life turned. So this is a whole one.
I'm still waiting for Man Up. I'm still waiting.
Yeah. That may be a while.
Well, I definitely will be looking into the book.
Absolutely,
I'm
me too.
Certain. I love a good. I need guided things, so I can't just. I spend more time looking for movies than watching them. So it's nice to have a guide. So I think that's going to be beneficial. You're going to be like TV Guide in the modern era,
right?
Exactly. Exactly. And I think it's kind of fun because we'll all be collectively.
Yeah, it's like a club
doing this. Oh, exactly. It's like it's like a 31-day.
It's like a book club, movie club.
Exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
Why don't we do you want to do a giveaway for a copy to one of your listeners, viewers?
I'm down. Absolutely. Let's do that. Yeah.
Can we put ourselves into the mixer?
Wait, what? To get you guys a book?
No, I'm just kidding. For me to win it. No, I want to do it.
I think we could arrange that. No, I mean, not for you to win. I meant to get you.
Well, man, you're cooking it. It's not. We gotta stop. Now I can't win.
Right?
Darn it.
Yeah, I mean, listeners, if you're interested, comment down below and we'll choose a winner for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, man. So I do want to ask you one thing. So we mentioned all the guests that you've had. Most of them. Who is your favorite guest that you've ever had, that you've ever interviewed?
But you can narrow it. I mean, don't hurt anyone's feelings.
Yeah, not hurting a feeling, but just like somebody that you were so excited that you can't believe it happened. Yeah.
What was the moment where you're like, "Oh my Lord, this is it," and it went well?
Robert De Niro.
Robert De Niro.
Yeah, I love him.
Mm-hmm.
We all have seen him in movies for all of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
Heard of him?
Or heard of him, yeah. You've never seen a Robert De Niro movie?
Oh, no, I have plenty.
Oh. I was like, oh my God. So I was like, that's actually kind of impressive.
Yeah.
But they brought me out to Chicago for the movie about my father is what it's called, with Sebastian Maniscalco, and Robert De Niro played his father. So Sebastian Maniscalco is from Chicago, and so he wanted the premiere out there, and it was this just great event or great weekend, and they had all these cool things planned for us, like a yacht boat, whatever, tour of Chicago by like a watercraft, whatever it was called.
Yeah.
And, and they had this like band playing, like all this cool stuff. And then we had the premiere that night or I'm sorry. No, then, we had a viewing that night, like watched it. Then the next day we did interviews. And then I did him, and, I was wearing Crocs, of course. And
boy.
In these interviews, they like will rent out like a penthouse or whatever, or big room at a hotel, and they'll set up all the cameras and all that stuff. And so I walk in, and Robert De Niro's like this, and he's like looking at me, looking at my shoes as I'm walking in, and I'm like, oh boy, I'm like, oh my God, you know what I mean? But I'm not Ronnie will tell you I am not a formal person. I don't like ties. I don't like button shirts. Like that's why, I'm in entertainment. But but I'm like, oh God, like this man is a legend and this is my one shot and I messed it up. I should have worn shoes, blah, blah, blah. And so I sit down and I'm like, hey, how are you? He's like,
the face,
and I'm like, oh God. And I see he's still like looking back down at my shoes and I'm like, is he like making a point? So I get my Croc and I'm like, oh, I have it casual for you. Or what is it? Was something like, oh, I have it casual for you now. Yeah. This is for the formal mode or, whatever it was. And he started cracking up. And like he was like and like really just like kind of let loose. And then I was like, okay, all right, cool. Like
he's not gonna ruin my life today.
Exactly. And then later on, so then we had the actual premiere of the movie where like, it's like the premiere, like the red carpet and all. So then we did that later. And then after that was like a party. So on the red carpet, De Niro was running a little bit behind and he only did one interview and he picked me. And I swear to God, and there was like Good Morning America there, blah, 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 and he picked me. And I swear to God that the reason for that is because of the thing with the Crocs. Like, I don't think he would have remembered.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Otherwise.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
He just starts looking at everyone's feet. Where's he at? Where's he at?
I know what I want. Where's my guy?
So that was like just such a cool and funny memory. And that was like a high point for me so far because it's freaking Robert De Niro. You know what I mean? Like, everybody knows who he is. Everybody's seen a movie of his at least. Like that was just really cool. And then to be in Chicago, like to be invited to go out to Chicago for this, that was very memorable and awesome. Yeah. 50
That's
Cent.
So cool.
I love 50. He was promoting his show at the time called Power.
Power,
And it was one of the spin-offs, which was about his character as a younger man or boy or whatever.
Okay.
I guess it was younger man. And so I don't script my interviews. I'm horrible at remembering things. I like conversations better than interviews. Absolutely. So I don't script or memorize. I mean, I'm horrible at memory or memorizing. So anyway, I kind of off the cuff sat down and said something so ridiculous and was something like, so this is about, when your character was younger, like when you were 25 Cent. And he was like this. He was like, kind of like De Niro, but scarier looking. He's like, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to get shot. Or something, or beat up or something. And then
you reach for your Crocs. Hold on. Have you seen this thing? Have you seen this trick?
But he ends up, he's sitting there for a second, and then he's like, and then I'm like, oh God, okay. All right, I'm not going to get shot. And then he was so cool after that. I think it was just because, I grew up seeing him being like this former gangbanger and like, what was the movie? Get
Rich or Die Trying.
Get Rich or Die Trying. Like, so I was just intimidated by him. And then he's physically a big guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
now tell us about your artistic project. Yeah. I feel intimidated.
So, and he's awesome. I mean, he's a very creative guy and he is an amazing businessman. Like I look up to his business acumen. And I think it's also a testament to him turning his life around and saying, I want to do this the right way and not on the path that I was on, which clearly, was going to end up with him in jail forever or dead. And he completely did that. So I really admire him a lot. But that was really funny because I'm thinking to myself in that moment, you know how those moments where it's like probably seconds, but it feels like an hour?
Yeah.
Like after I said like 25 cent. Huh?
Yeah.
It was like,
Start
I'm
dying.
like, yeah, and then I'm like,
Your heart
he's
sinks,
not doing anything.
Yeah.
And then he's like, and, and I'm like, oh my God, thank God. Because sometimes, my mouth doesn't help me. Like sometimes it gets me into trouble, you know what I mean? So yeah, anyway, those two I think were highlights. Harry Potter. I'm a huge, as I talked about, Harry Potter fan. Interviewing Daniel Radcliffe was like a childhood dream come true.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Jude Law, who was Albus Dumbledore in the Fantastic Beasts movies. I've done Ronald Weasley. I love how I'm referring to him as.
Yeah.
Right.
I just watched that.
Yeah.
I confused. I watched your interview on that one. Or one of the interviews you had on that one.
On Servant.
I think so. Yeah, and they were doing. It was I thought I was like it was just pictures of them for a while because the way that the camera was, they were frozen and then they unfroze for a second.
I
was like, no, he only talked to just the voice of Ron, but no, they were there.
Oh.
It was
yes. And I ended up doing four seasons. So Servant, which is one of my favorite shows of all time, which if you have Apple TV Plus, you've got to watch it. It's an M. Night Shyamalan show. It's basically a play, essentially. There's basically 4 characters and it takes place in this house, essentially. But it is twisty and turning. It's amazing. It's one of my 3 favorite shows ever. M. Night Shyamalan, who I love. Oh, that was a highlight too. Sorry, I'm really rambling at this point.
No, no, I love it.
But M. Night, does most of his movies in this area. And so, and I'm a huge M. Night fan. So he did this with this cast. And so, I did the first season, their interviews in New York. And I think the next 2 or 3 were were via Zoom. And then I did the last one, in person. They invited me to the premiere of the final season, the premiere of the final season in New York. So I went back up to New York and did that. And M. Night was there, the whole cast was there. Now every year for the last 4 years, I'd been interviewing them. So they kind of knew who I was, and I kind of obviously knew who they were. And so to hear him be like, hey Kyle, that's a horrible accent. That sounds nothing like him whatsoever. But just that was so awesome. And then M. Night, it was amazing because they ended up inviting me to his studio in the area, and I got to see the set before they tore it down. They made it so special for me. And then they had this, which you wouldn't know unless you've seen the show, but this thing that was really important to the show that they had given me was a prop, and just complete class act that I was just this is one of my favorite creatives ever, M. Night. This is one of my top 3 favorite shows ever. And then you guys are kind of including me in this in a way, not but including me in a way, just so freaking awesome.
That was
awesome. A highlight too.
Dude, so cool, man. So cool.
And then I go back home to freaking Delaware. And and let me drive. Yeah, it's funny. Really quickly, I gotta tell you the story really quickly. So I'm at the premiere for the book club part 2 in New York, which is Jane Fonda, this incredible cast, Diane Keaton, all of these legendary actresses. And I interviewed them through Zoom first, and then they invited me to come to the premiere and all. So then I do the red carpet, and then I go to the viewing, and then go to the party afterwards. So at the party is at the Circle in the Green in Manhattan in Central Park, which is this super nice fancy restaurant. So then there's the Circle where your driver drops you off or picks you up, and then they go back out and go, I of course don't have a driver. And so, we go to this party, blah, blah, blah. It's all amazing and everybody's so nice, and we're talking, taking pictures, blah blah blah. We're there for hours. So then as the night's wrapping up, I'm going out, and I called an Uber, And like, I'm not a millionaire, so like I did the cheap Uber, like I'm not doing an Uber X for like an extra $12 or whatever.
Yeah.
What are you, crazy?
Yeah.
So
You mind sharing a ride with someone.
Exactly. So yeah. So Diane Keaton comes and she gets, her driver picks her up. Well, now my freaking Uber is here, right? And I see that it's like this like minivan from maybe 1998 and it's got like a dent in the side.
Oh no.
And I'm like, oh, please don't be mine. And I'm like, it shows you like a little
the
like
picture of it.
Exactly, like a little picture of it. And I'm like, oh God, that's mine. And he's coming up and he's like beeping like meh, meh. And I'm like, no. Yeah, and so now like Jane Fonda, like whoever, all these people are like, looking like, is that guy like the Help? Like, was he like in the kitchen or something? And now he's like getting a ride out here. Like, what's happening? Because it's just kind of funny because that's kind of my life, is that all these people are in their fancy black cars with their, with their private drivers and all. And here's me getting in the, $8 minivan Uber that's beeping outside of this event, like a freak show.
And like as a former Lyft driver, going to I in Austin, I used to drive a lot of Lyft. It is impossible to navigate just even to that city. So I can't imagine the stress your driver is, and now he's embarrassing you in front of
and I knew that it wasn't their fault. Like I
blame
tip
him.
well and
blame,
all.
no he know better.
He probably has no idea, like, this is a fancy event. Maybe I shouldn't like beep outside while these famous rich people are waiting for their cars. And like, you've just drawn attention that he's like, like a hillbilly or something.
Yeah.
So, anyway, funny story.
Oh, dude, that's
should have said it was your dad or something. Like, sorry, that's my dad. Embarrassing me on my day at school, like these classic stories.
Dad, you're so embarrassing.
It's like the one scenario where you want the stranger to be your dad. That's great.
Oh my God,
that's funny.
Well, dude, okay, so dream interview. Who's somebody that you would just love to just talk to, meet, interview, just whatever. You just want to be near that person.
I'll do interview if that's all right.
Yeah.
There's a few. One was Elton John, who I did interview, which was a bucket list for me.
Yeah.
I still have Stevie Nicks.
That would be great.
Dolly Parton. I'd like to do The Rock.
Really nice. He's got a new movie coming out. You might.
He does.
It looks crazy.
It does look crazy, and that hair. I think a lot of the legends like that. I mean, I'm not putting Rock in the same, but I'm saying like a lot of the legends I would want to do because they have such long, Dolly Parton, Stevie Nicks have been around for literally decades and decades and are still relevant. And like, Stevie Nicks had a wild ride. Dolly Parton came from nothing, literally nothing. And I those things I think are really interesting to me. People like The Rock then that are at the top of their although arguably at the top of their profession. Things like that I think are my kind of new dream people, because some of them I've been knocking off the list as I've been doing them, so adding more people as we go. So I think those are the types of things that I'm looking for.
I could definitely see it in your future. I would not be surprised if you get all of them and more.
Thank you.
That'd be really cool to see.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm seeing everything you post, man. I'm watching everything. Everything you post. I'm a viewer,
we might even send you a snow globe. We might even-
Yep.
I'm watching everything.
And we're definitely gonna
We
hit up
can
a haunted attraction together, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We're gonna make it happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm always down for that. Or the Conjuring House.
Yeah, that too. That too. We'll make it happen.
Yeah.
We'll plan it
Yeah.
for sure. But
Cool.
yeah, dude. Listen, we appreciate you being here, Flem. Is there any like other questions you have for Kyle before we like get ready to wrap this up?
No questions. Just really glad to meet you and see what you're all about and everything you got going on. It's awesome.
Thank
Yeah.
you. I'm so glad to have you guys. I'm so glad to have. Thank you.
We can redo it. Look, here, I'll start. I'll do one more. It was great to meet you. And we had a really good time.
Yes, all of those things, but to you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yes.
Thank you guys for having me and for talking with me, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, Kyle, listen, man, I know we like message each other all the time, but it was great to just, talk to you voice to voice again and
Yeah, it's
just,
been a while.
catch up. And I know we always talk about, hey, we need to do something. We're going to make it happen, man. We're going to hang out soon. So
Absolutely.
let's make it happen. And just keep doing what you're doing, man. I'm a big fan of you. Just I love watching your stuff. So
Watch
Yeah,
Pop
thank you.
Culture Weekly. I'm guessing weekly.
yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, is there a date that we're looking for every?
It's typically Fridays, but if you go to podcast.popcultureweekly.com.
Yeah, watch, listen. Sorry, I don't want to.
Yeah. No.
Listen.
Whatever
I don't
you
wanna
want.
Be like that woman on Facebook.
No, you're totally good. You go to podcast.popcultureweekly.com. That's like the podcast side of the site where it has like, all the information you could want. And then popcultureweekly.com, so without the podcast, is like all like the blog posts and that sort of. Either way, you'll find me. Doesn't matter.
Cool. Well, hey, man, tell everybody where they can find you and besides your podcast, like tell everybody like your socials and all that.
socials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
We have 11 people really dying to know.
Pretty much real Kyle McMahon. Everywhere.
Cool.
Pretty much everywhere, it's real Kyle McMahon.
Awesome, man. Well, listen, Kyle, thanks again, man. It was great talking to you. Flem, it's always great talking to you as well. You know that. And this has been Lack Thereof Podcast, DJDubC Flemoxicillin, and Kyle McMahon. And we will see you guys next time for the next episode.